want to fuck Beyonce and Rihanna. We'll see which one of those things happen first.
Shit, if you were in Arizona, you might get a shot at Rihanna. She here doing the fucking halftime show at the Super Bowl. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Keyboard Warriors. We are the Keyboard Warriors, presented by CageSidePress.com. My name's Eddie. That's Fred. On UFC 284 Eve, Super Bowl Eve, all kinds of shit happening this weekend, sports world. Lots to talk about in terms of fighting, obviously, of course, but we're doing this one a little bit without a super strict plan, right?
Well, this is less than a super strict plan. We literally didn't say two. I don't know what we're going to talk about tonight. This is literally
we were talking about
off the cusp. Like, this is if anybody happens to be watching right now, this is the fan viewer show because goddamn it, we ain't got nothing to talk about.
Nothing. So shoot the shit.
To your point, there's a couple massive fights this weekend. Like we gonna be able to make our way through it, but like we didn't talk about shit before we started the show.
Dude, they fuck. Okay, y'all again. Fourth one. What's up, Santiago? How you doing, bro? Hope you and the fam are good. We don't talk about it very much. Before we do the show, we barely ever talk about MMA itself before the show. We're usually talking about like our personal shit. Like we need to start a podcast called like Stressed Out Fathers or some shit. Like straight up, we could just talk about the reasons why like my fucking beard is gray out of nowhere and shit. And Nick says Fred with a stash. I've definitely missed some episodes.
No. This is brand new, baby.
Brand
I
new.
saved this motherfucker a couple days ago.
Yes, sir.
I got my woman coming into town and she don't like the big beard and all that shit. So I shaved the beard. I kept the stash as a little joke, and I thought, hey, I kind of like this actually. At first, I was disgusted. My goddamn, I look like a snitch and a pedophile all at the same time. But then I'm like, you know what? It's kind of growing on me. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to save this motherfucker. I don't even know if it'll be around for next week. But goddamn it, enjoy it while it lasts. I'm going to keep it for a second.
Who's got, just off the top of your head, who's got the best mustache in MMA that you could think of?
Dom Fry, right? That's the prick.
That's exactly who I was gonna go with.
Come on, it's gotta be Dom Fry. There's no other answer for that. I mean, it's Dom Fry. Dom Fry is the stash in MMA, Jack. That's the end.
They used to beat dudes' asses with a fucking mustache like that. And you're just like, thank you, sir. Like,
there's not a whole lot of people, and one of the reasons I'm drawn to MMA is because a lot of the tough guys don't look like tough guys. I love that in MMA. You really sort of realize you need to watch who you're playing with because that little nerdy looking dude. Chael Sonnen is a good example of that. For he doesn't look like an exceptionally tough guy.
Yeah,
time was if I had a little buzz going, I see a motherfucker look like Chael Sonnen, I'd tell him to suck my dick. What you gonna do about it, punk?
Dude.
But I've learned that's not a. But Don Fry looks tough. That motherfucker looks like an old biker. It's like he just looks like a type of cocksucker you might not want to tell to suck your dick. Like Don Fry looks like an old tough motherfucker that can just wrestle and take a hard punch to the face, Jack.
Don Fry could probably make a grown ass man at a grocery store like feel like a little kid. Like, why are you grabbing that shit? Get the fuck back! Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Jack. He's tough too. Don Fry was the one that had that fight with what was the Asian cat's name? Where they were just damn, what was the cat's name? I wouldn't be able to pronounce it anyway. The big Asian cat with the blonde hair. Hey, he ended up passing away, man. The cat ended up. He was a professional wrestler.
I remember that.
Like a lot of those Asian cats, like he was like like really popular. Like he was on some Stone Cold Steve Austin shit in Japan, and he did a fucking move in the ring, Jack, and he fucking got paralyzed from like the fucking waist down. There's an amazing video online of Don Fry going to the hospital to Akiyama. Was that a motherfucker's name?
Let me find it. Takayama.
Is
it? Yeah.
Something like that. Goddamn it.
Let me find out.
Yeah, but there's a video of Don Fry going to see him in the video or on the internet when he was in the hospital after that injury, and that was fucking woof. That's heavy shit, man. Really, really cool shit to see, though. To see Don Fry go visit him after that, like, it's fucking sad that it's on such conditions, but
yeah, that fight only lasted, I think around. Might have only lasted like around, right? And,
goes to show you what you can accomplish. Like all you motherfuckers out there having boring fights, y'all should reconsider it. Because that was, I mean, yeah, to your point, that fight actually didn't last that long.
It didn't.
Considering how infamous it is. Like, boy, if you ahead, if you a real fucking fight head, you know what fight we talking about.
Yep.
Like you know that fight with Don Fry. Even I forget. God bless. I forget the Asian cat's name
It's
exactly.
Yoshihiro Takayama.
Yoshihiro Takayama. Yeah, that was it. I thought that was it. I kept wanting to say Yoshihiro Akiyama.
You got it.
Which fucking I know. So here's what we're gonna talk about. Okay, Yoshihiro Akiyama. That's Sexyama, right?
Yeah.
For all you young ones that don't know, Sexyama was this Asian cat that was a hell of a fighter, but the motherfucker was like, God damn it. Now listen, y'all also got to understand, a lot of you Western heathens that live here in America, y'all don't understand that there's other parts of the world that like it's whole ass stars, you know, in Asia and shit that we don't never really know about like that. Like Akiyama was a motherfucking huge star. Like Homeboy would sing the national anthem on massive sporting events in Japan, or maybe it was Korea. So this is what brings me around to Yoshihiro Akiyama. Although Yoshihiro Takayama, shout out to him, the cat that fought Don Fry, before I completely get off of that. But I was thinking about Yoshihiro Akiyama lately because there's a new fucking reality show. Have you seen this fucking reality show on Netflix? And Akiyama's on it. It's called the Top 100 or the Fit 100. Think Squid Games meets a bunch of real, like the most in shape cocksuckers across Korea. The idea is they want to find out who's the best in shape motherfucker in Korea, right? So they take swimmers, judokas, firefighters. I mean, Jack, if you live in Korea and you a physical specimen, you're on the show. The top 100 bodies in Korea. Well, goddamn it, they had to have Sexyama on there. So
there he is. Oh my god! Sorry, it's called Physical 100. I just saw his fucking
100.
face.
Yeah. Physical weight 100.
Let's go. Yeah.
So I actually watched the first episode of the show, which is actually pretty good, man. It's Squid Game-esque. And then it's like South Korean. It's got that Korean vibe, but it's like real with some actual stars. Now, again, we ain't Korean, so the only motherfucker I noticed off of there was Akiyama. But shit, if you any sort of Asian, I'm sure you probably recognize a lot of these folks. But two things. A, Akiyama. Listen, son, they was railing in all these motherfuckers. I mean, again, the top of everything in Korea, from fucking figure skaters to firefighters. Like any motherfucker, physical trainers, bodybuilders, wrestlers, Olympic wrestlers. I mean, anybody in Korea that's really super in shape was on the show, right? So they all come on and they all sort of, you know, shaking each other's hands. Oh, I recognize you. You're the one cat. Boom, boom, boom. Right, son. Akiyama walks in and everybody is on his dick. I swear to God. Legend. Everybody in there was like, oh my, and you know, they're doing the little English voiceovers. So, oh my God, is that him? Bitch's panties moist, son. Everybody, I swear to God, it was motherfuckers on there that other people were walking up to, like, yo, you're such and such. When Akiyama walked in, all of them came over and shook his hand. Like, you really got a vibe on how popular that dude is. Like, real talk, bro. These were like a bunch of the most popular, and they all shut down when Akiyama walked in. Like, everybody's like, oh my God, it's him. Is that him? Oh my God, it's him. And the bitches was just like, oh shit. I'm sorry. Hey, bro, I swear to God, I ain't never seen nothing like it. Now, part two. Did you know? So, Yoshihiro Akiyama, aka Sexyama, that ain't his name.
No shit.
Now, so I don't know. They calling him something different on the Korean game show, Who So Jin or some shit. I ain't even doing a bit. I'm sorry, I'm not being rude. It's some Korean shit. I guess my girl Nikki on Twitter had said that it's his Korean name. So I don't know what she meant by that, as in do that mean Yoshihiro Akiyama in Korean, or do the South I don't know what she meant by that. I know when he was fighting, he was Yoshihiro Akiyama, aka Sexyama. But when that motherfucker was on that game show, he is not Yoshihiro Akiyama.
He's Chu Sung-hoon.
Yeah, Chuso, whatever he that. But that is not, I ain't never known him to be that. And she said that was his South Korean name. So I'm still a little, I don't know what that means. Do he got the same name, or do they just not translate in the other language, or what the vibe is?
Who knows? I mean, like in Muay Thai, a lot of these guys pick up their trainers or their gyms names as part of their name too. So it could be something like that too. Maybe a
I
tribute type of
do
thing.
think
Because was he a professional wrestler too? Sexyama? Am I wrong on that? Probably wrong on that.
I don't know. He probably did it. I know he was like a professional singer, and I
Yeah.
think he acted in some movies or some shit. I think he did like some reality. I mean, he's really fucking like
That
a
dude's just
lot more
bad
popular
motherfucker.
than we can fathom in Japan. Like he's fucking huge.
I got you. All right. Well, let me see. So I get to comments here, but yeah, now I'm gonna watch that shit tonight for sure. But
You
I can't
should.
wait.
It's actually pretty dope. I need to go back. I think I watched the first 2 episodes. The first game was,
Yeah.
not to ruin it, but so they get all these 100 motherfuckers in there, and some bad bitches, couple beastly bitches too, a couple beefy hoes, but it was a couple little bad bitches, a couple little figure skaters. One little hoe was super. Okay, so the first one is hanging. They
Just
just got
hanging
these
on?
up, just hanging. But
Shit, boy.
it gets thick, because you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. At first, it's like, oh, it's just hanging, and of course,
Yeah.
you know, a couple of the big bodybuilder motherfuckers. Them motherfuckers like,
Oh, no, fucking
shit,
motherfucker.
shit. And you know, the figure skaters and those type cocksuckers are just gracefully hanging by their elbows and shit. But yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I see for anybody that has seen like the real world road rules sort of the challenge, it looks like that in South Korea with the most fit people in Korea. Because it's like one challenge where they're like straight up wrestling each other. I don't think they're punching each other, but they're like grappling each other around this thing and shit. And then obviously the one was just hanging from a thing. So it's actually kind of lit. I'm definitely super intrigued to see what the next competition is going to be.
I'll check it out for sure. Nick says, as far as mustaches go, Wineland. Eddie Wineland has a solid mustache. I'll give him that much.
He does have a nice mustache. That's a good one.
Then he goes, boy, Don Fry got a broom head at the bottom of his nose. He fucking does. That shit's fucking rough.
Don Fries is wild, boy.
His wife has to be like, every time she tries to kiss her, he tries to kiss her. Maybe he has a wife. I don't know if he does, but any chick he tries to kiss, they're probably like, oh, like it's shit's like daggers. If you don't, okay, look, folks, a little bit of 101. If you don't can take care of this right, you will like stab your significant other repeatedly with this shit. So y'all be careful with that bullshit. All right. I'll go over your fight announcements here real quick in a second, Otis. Yoshiro Takayama, that's what you're talking about, Fred. That was a fight, it really was.
It was crazy. That was crazy.
Fry and Homie were just grabbing the back of each other's necks and throwing haymakers, and it only lasted a round. But look, that clip is always going to be on every highlight reel fucking ever. So,
and to be fair, just to add just a slight bit of context, they were heavyweights.
Yeah, they were big dudes.
So think of you know, Brock and Fedor in their arguable primes, just locking horns and giving each other these until one of them slightly gives just a little. I think it was Yoshihiro Takayama that sort of his knees buckled a little, and then Fry jumped on because Fry did ultimately win the fight. But if I'm not mistaken, the fight just got stopped because Takayama's face just fucking disappeared. Like they had to stop it though. Takayama, like these cats were insane. It was
if I remember correctly, Takayama's eyes were pinched, they just shut. They were shut completely.
Certainly the one side was just completely done. Like,
that's probably
completely shut.
Yeah. Santiago says the judoka and singer. That's Sexyama, absolutely. Physical 100, Fred. It's a good show too. Akiyama was dressed up too, like a mega Hollywood star.
Animal, bro. I swear to God, because I was watching, like they're introducing all these characters, and I'm like, come on. I'm waiting, like, introduce my guy. I'm here for one person, and I was really curious, like, because we're led to believe in the old Pride days, they would tell us, like, bro, y'all don't get it. Like Akiyama, he did fight in the UFC.
Sexyama?
He sure did. Yeah, he sure
Takayama.
did. Sexyama did.
Oh, Sexyama absolutely did. Yeah.
I forgot about that. He actually did okay, but then he lost a couple fights. But yeah, he would have been fucking huge, man. We were very aware of exactly how popular he was over there. So I was curious to see how they were going to react, and they actually reacted more than I thought they would. Like, they showed that motherfucker respect.
So he came in, took a split decision victory over Alan Belcher in his first fight at UFC 100.
Hey, and listen, in hindsight, that was a fucking good fight. Like, I think at the time, motherfuckers undervalued who Alan Belcher was, man. When Alan
Yeah, they
Belcher
didn't
was on his
know.
game, he was a good fighter. I mean, that motherfucker, when Husmer Paul Harris was ripping everybody apart, Alan Belcher
Said
went
Lowell.
into he fought him on the ground and ended up whipping his fucking ass in that second round. Like, man, Alan Belcher was an animal at that fucking time. Make no
Yeah.
mistake about it. That was a solid win.
He ain't that man's never gonna get the credit he deserves ever. He just never will, and it's because the sport wasn't as popular back then. Um, so he took he beat Alan Belcher, then rattled off four losses in a row. But look who he fought. Okay, this is after his first fight in the UFC.
Oh, Liebman, didn't he?
He got submitted by Lieben. He got decision by Michael Bisping. Yeah. He got decision by Michael Bisping. He got knocked out by Vitor Belfort. And this is the only one that's sad. He got decision by Jake Shields.
So
that one's sad.
So here we go. Run them back right quick. And I'm just going. I'm gonna make some excuses. But what? First one was a submission loss to Chris Liebman, right?
Yeah, Lieben, then Michael Bisping.
So at the time, Liebman was a fucking animal and very, very underrated. Yeah. Y'all know who Bisping was, and he lost the decision to Bisping. And again, to be fair, the Liebman fight and the Bisping fight were very entertaining, very fan friendly. And then he gets knocked out by Vitor. Listen, let's just be very clear about this. Vitor Belfort was cheating his tits off. When he thunderstruck Luke Rockhold, Vitor was cheating. Let's be very clear. That was TRT Vitor. He was cheating. The world knew it. Dana White knew it. He was cheating. That shit don't count. And then he got decision by Jake Shields, who did. You know, who amongst us didn't get decision by Jake Shields in the early 2000s? You know what I mean? Like, Jake was decisioning everybody out here. That's what Jake did. That's what Jake does. Him and John Fitch. Boy, you fought one of the motherfuckers, you was going to take a decision loss like a motherfucker.
Yeah. Look, that's the thing about Jake Shields, though, right? It's like anytime he beats somebody, you're just sitting there going like, God damn it. Like,
I'm not trying to be fucking cute here. I ain't never seen a motherfucker with worse hands. And let me make it very clear. Jacob boxed me up. Jacob left hand me into oblivion. But in that cage against other motherfuckers that can box, I'm giving what you would call a backhanded compliment. Because what I'm going to say is ultimately I ain't never seen a motherfucker with worse hands be a better fighter.
Right.
Boy, Jake couldn't box his way out. How the fuck could you be hanging out with the Diaz brothers for 20 years and your fucking hands still be that fucking terrible? But I tell you what, it's insane that his boxing was that bad and he reached the level he did at the high. Yeah. I mean, boy, he had some nasty grappling. If you're going to call it like you call it, you got to, he's fucked in the head and his Twitter game's trash. And his boxing, his hands were fucking horrible, but boy, his control was insane. And
did he fight? I want to say he fought for a title against GSP and got decisioned.
He did.
So you got to give him.
It was the biggest fight in UFC history up to that point, or the biggest sellout or whatever. It might not have been the biggest on pay-per-view. It was the biggest live gate at that point because it happened in Montreal, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me find out. I want to say you're right. Yeah, Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
It happened in Canada. I knew that. It happened in Canada.
Oh, I can't wait. Like, everyone sits here going like, oh, fucking yeah, let's get back at crowds and shit. I can't wait till they go back to Canada with a Canadian somewhere, if they have one. Like, you know, Canada's always awesome for fucking events.
Well, yeah, but you need a star, man. I mean, you don't need a star, but like that's what really fucking heats a market up, man. Canada are great fight fans, but they had Georges, and then they had Rory for a minute. So they, you know, you get even Brazil done fucked around, cooled down a little, but Brazil gonna always be Brazil. But when they got reigning champions, whatever country has the reigning champions, it sort of heats up. On that note, since we don't got a whole lot to talk about, let's talk about this. Brandon Moreno just won the belt.
Yeah.
At 25 flyweight in the UFC with a bullet. There ain't no more fucking disputing it. So we have our first Mexican UFC champion.
Okay.
Tomorrow night, cocksuckers, Yair Rodriguez, believe it or not, is fighting for a belt. Now, say whatever you want about it being a goddamn what's the belt? What's the bullshit belt we're giving away? What's it called? Interim. Say what you want about being a goddamn interim belt. It's a belt none the fucking less.
Yeah.
So we have our second Mexican competing for a belt, and quite frankly, hands down, I'm actually or fucking whatever fucking turn of phrase I'm trying to fucking use on blown. I'm picking fucking Yair to win that fight tomorrow night. It's going to be a very good fight. We won't go into crazy detail with it, but like I think Yair will win the fight. And then you've got Aldana. What's that fucking broad's name?
So the Aldana fight didn't actually happen. Didn't get set up yet. Apparently, that one turned down. But Alexa Grasso is fighting Bullet.
Okay, so there, and that was the other one. So at the very least, we've got 2 more Mexican fighters that will be fighting for a belt in the UFC. Alexa Grasso, I don't really love her chances, but I do think Shevchenko's ripe for a loss. I really like Yair's chances, although he might get thunderstruck as well. But
it's a bad motherfucker.
Let's just have a conversation and live in a world for a moment in which both of them win.
Okay.
What do you, being a proud Mexican cocksucker that you are, think that will do for the MMA scene in Mexico if both of them win belts and we end out 2023 with 3 reigning Mexican champions in the UFC?
There couldn't have been better timing for these fights to happen. Couldn't have been better timing. Brandon Moreno already champion, right? Yair Rodriguez will be interim champion tomorrow night. And Alexa Grasso at least has a shot, like you said. The blueprints out there how to beat Shevchenko. You just have to, push a little harder than Tyler Santos did. And cross your fingers with the judges. But the UFC will begin to build a PI in Mexico. And I want to say it's Mexico City, but I'm not 100% sure. Can't be my hometown. My hometown's way too fucking packed. But they are building a PI in Mexico, and it's starting in September. So you imagine, Brandon Moreno is champion. If Grasso pulls this shit off, and you're Rodriguez, you could set up a huge card in Mexico, right? There's already a lot of combat sports guys and sports fighters in Mexico, both male and female. They're all boxers. You put in the PI, you start training people, you make it more popular. It's gonna be huge, man. Like MMA in Mexico is already getting big. It's gonna be massive come middle of next year. And we're talking like no shit, like a yearly Mexico, if not 2 times a year Mexico card. I think once that happens. I already said that if the UFC goes when the UFC goes back to Mexico, I'm fucking gonna go cover that shit. But yeah, man, I think it's huge, man. It's huge. It's fucking huge. Come on, it's massive. Can you imagine if Cain Velasquez was somehow still around, right? And you could fill up that card full of Mexicans. There's plenty of Mexican fighters in the UFC, but you could fill up the entire card on there. Do something nuts like fucking US versus Mexico if you want to, and set it in Mexico. Like it'd be huge. So it's about to be massive.
I completely agree, dude. I think there are 3 sort of untapped resources, and there's a ton more, but
yeah,
I think there are 3 major untapped resources as far as fans and talent go for MMA. And I've been very vocal, and I know people just don't want to talk about this, but we ain't big enough to get canceled, so suck my dick. I don't give a shit. But I've been very vocal about Black America.
Yeah.
Black Americans just don't really fuck with and embrace MMA like that yet. We don't have that, they're still fucking watching boxing in general, overall. Motherfuckers are not training judo and jiu-jitsu in the hood. It just ain't there yet. But I think it should be, and I think when it does get there, you're gonna see some shit change. A young Mike Tyson, a young Gervonta Davis that you could teach how to wrestle. I mean, I think these cats would do quite well in MMA. They're just not getting it there yet. It ain't there. Africa is a place that we're starting to see happen. I hate to be this guy, son. I said this years ago. I watched a fucking thing on Vice about some fucking African wrestling. I don't know what it's called, but them goddamn big ass bears were wrestling in Africa on a beach or some shit like that. And it was some sort of wrestling. They weren't allowed to exactly punch each other, but they were fucking getting after it. And it was sort of sumo-ish, Greco-Roman-ish, but it was nasty. And I remember watching that going, say, Jack, if you took a couple of these guys and fucking taught them how to throw a right hand and a few leg kicks, they would be devastating. And that was a long fucking time ago, but slowly but surely you're starting to see some talent come out of Africa, and more importantly, you're starting to see these champions and then go back. Yeah, exactly. This is exactly it. I don't know.
They're Senegal wrestlers.
Yeah, is there a name? Okay, yeah, Senegalese wrestling, whatever. Yeah, there you go. But that dude right there, You teach that motherfucker how to throw a nice little
somebody.
jab and an overhand right, and somebody's ass is grass, Jack.
Let's see if I can zoom in. Look at this dude's back muscles, though.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
exactly.
ridiculous.
Exactly. If we can actually get him to 265,
nuts.
and
Yeah.
listen, you know what's scary about it is, listen, say Jack, he ain't on steroids.
Nah.
He's not on steroids. He's actually not on steroids. Boy, we'd be over here cheating like a motherfucker. Ain't nobody's back look like that in the UFC. Motherfucker's back don't look like that. And we be cheating like a motherfucker. Boy, Chael Sonnen was on every steroid man knew.
Didn't look like that.
Didn't look nothing like that. So I'm being very long-winded to say that my third fucking place that I feel like is a major untapped resource for fucking talent and fans is Mexico. Mexico and Mexicans are another fucking place where they're a massive fucking fight fan community, and they have a massive tradition in fighting. It's just boxing. But goddamn it, that can fucking change. And a few champions in the UFC at the highest level, what better of a way, like you said, you fucking put a PI Institute down there, and you're going to start seeing some serious fucking talent. And more importantly, maybe not more importantly, but just as important, a ton of fans, new Mexican fans that are going to pour into our world. It's sort of wild that people can still discover this sport and then go back and learn about Connor and Chuck Liddell and fucking Vitor, and like there are people out there that still really don't know the story of this sport that are going to watch Yair pull some crazy bullshit off tomorrow night and then be like, yo, let me watch this other fight. And who was it? Oh shit, he got beat by this guy named Frankie Edgar. Who the fuck is this little New York prick? Oh shit, he beat this dude named BJ Penn. Oh shit. And that's how this thing happens. I think that's fucking, you know, I'm gonna be fucking rooting for Yair like a motherfucker tomorrow, Jack. If not for just for that.
I've had a few people tell me like, "Oh, Emmett's gonna knock him out." I'm like, "Eat a dick." It's not happening. Now, again, I'm always very upfront with this shit. 99% of the time, I am gonna pick my countryman to win, regardless. So I'm gonna pick Alex Grasso to beat Bullet. I don't give a fuck. Okay, win or lose, do not give a shit. But like Yair has every tool necessary to be the outright champion. Now we'll find out and see if he ends up getting the next shot at Volkanovski after this win tomorrow night. But it's an interesting deal to have there, to have USCPI in Mexico, USCPI here. In fact, I'm willing to bet there'll be multiple USCPIs in the US by 25, 26. But I think I will not be surprised if there's and there's a USCPI in China too, I think. But again, I'm 100% sure at some point there's going to be a USCPI on every continent. Outside of Antarctica, of course, but on every continent, there's going to be a USCPI, I think, because it's good for the business. Just like you said, it's all that shit. It checks all those boxes you need. So it kind of that'd be a good deal for that. All right, let me get through a bunch of these comments here. Sorry, Otis, we've been going. All right, Otis, Johnny Walker versus Anthony Smith for May 13th.
I like that. I'm totally on the Johnny Walker bandwagon, and you know what? I like Anthony Smith way more as a commentator than a fighter. And I know that's not really fair to say because he actually doesn't have boring fights. Just for some reason, I'm not sold on him in the cage. Very well-spoken, intelligent, nice guy. But like, I just need him to not win in the cage and I just want him in a suit on the sideline for some reason.
You know, I'll tell you this. After watching Anthony Smith against John Jones live at 235, I could give a fuck about Anthony Smith, and I feel bad about that. I feel bad saying that because he's like you said, he's an entertaining guy to watch fight and talk. But fuck, that fight pissed me off. Not because he didn't take the out after he got the illegal knee to the face and shit, but just because the way he fought was just like, really, dude, all this shit Tucky was doing, and I'm this, I'm that, I'm different. He's never faced someone like me, and then you fought like everybody else. Not to mention, John Jones should have finished his ass in the first or second round. So, all right. Alex Hernandez steps in against Jim Miller, short notice-ish, February 18th. That's next weekend?
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm going to be there for that. My bad. Hey, I'm going to be at the card.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Brendan Royval against Mateus Nicolau for April 15th. I'm going to be there with that one, too. That's Kansas City. Michael Chiesa versus the Leech, UFC 287. That one's interesting because I don't know why they made that fight, but they made it. Brett Tavares, Bruno Silva for April 22nd.
That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm. And then I want to say it was Julio Arce's. Yeah, Julio Arce's out. Trevin Jones is in against Cody Garbrandt. Huge fight for Trevin Jones. One of those like you can't lose this shit for Cody Garbrandt type
I
of
was a
fights.
huge fight for Cody too. He fucking needs
Yeah,
this one, man. He
yeah,
needs this one.
100%. Let's see what else we got. Belcher, worst tattoo in MMA. You're not wrong.
Yeah, I was going to mention that
Or
earlier.
Tyler Till.
That Johnny Cash tattoo
That's
was
terrible.
on his arm.
Vitor the young dinosaur. That guy's always gonna be young. Oh, here's a question for you. What's next for Derek Lewis, Fred? Derek Lewis taking the L. Not to mention, he not only did he take the L against Sergey Spivak, it wasn't even like mildly difficult for Sergey to do that. He manhandled someone that we've never seen get manhandled like that before. So what do you think is next? You think he's done? Fun fights, gatekeeper? What do you think?
A little mixture of the last two.
Yeah.
I guess you never know exactly how this will go, but Dana White came out and seemed like he said that,
Oh, he likes him.
yeah, at the end of the day, he likes him. He's in fun fights. He's a company guy. So I think his job is safe with the UFC if he wants it. For me, the question with Derek becomes, how bad does he want it?
Right.
I know he wants to get paid for his family and shit, but one can imagine that Derek's made a little bit of money in his day. I
Oh,
would
he's okay.
imagine that Derek's sitting on a hot mill or two at this point, at the very least in assets alone. He's
Yeah.
made a little bit of money in the I mean, he's been fighting the UFC for what, fucking 10 years or some shit. I mean, even the first 5, he may have not made a ton, but the last few years, he's been in a few big fights that he had to get a few $100,000 at least for.
Yeah.
That's buying houses and shit. As long as he's not just pissing this money away, he's got a little bit back. So the only thing for me with Derek comes down to what's he want to do. I mean, listen, he's not going to be competing for any titles anytime soon. He's not going to be fighting any top contenders. If he wants to get a little bread and be in exciting fights and shit like that, there'll be a role for him to do that. Test up and coming young guys. He'll be able to get some bread doing that. Question becomes though, does he want to do that? Does he want to train? Fucking low-key maybe risk taking a fucking beating for another 50, 60, 80 bands, 100 bands, whatever he's getting. That's a lot of money
Right.
though, depending. At this point, I'm sure he could slim his training camp up if he wants to. It's not
Yeah.
like he needs to spend more money to try to, he looked like he was in fucking great shape. At this point, all he needs to do is fucking hit the mitts and collect the check. He could do that if he wants. So um his days as a top competitor in the
Oh,
UFC are over. But it seems like if he wants to just collect a check, Dana White's willing to let him do that. So we'll see what he wants
and
to do.
yeah, I mean, I think this is going to happen. For me, I think it's going to be that. Just keep fighting till he's out of the UFC. Keep collecting checks. Keep taking fights, win or lose, whatever, and keep getting paid. And then once the UFC cuts you and tells you to go, unless someone comes in with a nice big offer, that cool. I'm sure he's got business to build up. I'm sure he's got money working for himself and all that. Be great. That's how you set up your
Right.
family with wealth. So, oh, okay. We're already talking about tomorrow. KJ says Volk knocks Islam out, KOs Islam.
Listen, I'll be candid with you. I've got a couple parlays on a goddamn gambling site with that very fucking prediction.
Knocking out Islam. Okay.
I think, look, these things are so stupid to do because I'll say it could go this way or that way, and it'll go some other way.
Yeah, it'll go
Islam will
third
knock
way.
out Volk or some crazy stupid shit like that. But one can assume it goes one of a few ways, right?
Yeah.
One of the few ways that this can go is that Islam either can't get the takedown at all, which I find highly unlikely, but listen, it's within the realm of possibility. Or what's even more possible, I think, which still unlikely but possible, is that Islam can't keep Volk down. That he can get the takedown, but the little cocksucker just squirms to his fucking feet.
Yeah.
That's possible. So, in a world in which that happens, yeah, I could see Volk knocking Islam. If he can make him strike with him for most of these 5 rounds, yeah, sure could see Volk knocking him out. Also, could very much envision a world in which Islam's able to get the takedown, able to control him, able to do what he's been able to do to every other motherfucker 10 pounds bigger than Volk for the last fucking 6 years or whatever the fuck. I think that's the obvious consensus. But again, who knows nothing about nothing? Fucking Volk might come out and out wrestle Islam, or Islam come out and out kickbox Volk. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
But in general, I think that's the, you know what I mean? If Volk can not get wrestle fucked, he very well could knock out Islam. I think it's a pretty foregone conclusion that Volk's a better striker. If they came out and had a kickboxing competition, I think Volk would light Islam's ass up. Again, I could be fucking wrong about that. Islam's rangy. He looked all right against Charles Oliveira. I mean, maybe the cute cocksucker surprises us all and comes out and puts a little two-pop on fucking old Volk. But I would assume that Volk's the better striker and Islam's the better grappler. We'll see.
I'm gonna say this for the first 2 and change rounds, it's gonna be a competitive fight, and after that, either Islam's taking over or Volkanovski's gonna finish him. So I mean, it could be possible, but I think at some point someone's gas tank is gonna get tested. They both got really good gas tank, like they got real good cardio.
I will say, if Islam can't get the takedown or can't hold Volk down, I think Volkanovski will knock him out within 3 rounds.
Really?
If he's forced to strike with Volkanovski, I think Volkanovski will light him up. I've had a hard on for Volkanovski for a long time because I'm a Max Holloway fan, and I thought that but that third fight, Volk won.
Oh, he won the fuck out of that
outright. Like I still dispute those first 2, but the third fight, in my opinion, he won the third fight like they acted like he won the second and first fight. Like but that third fight, he won that. He really showed that he's that much better of a striker. At the very least, he's with a team that can out game plan Max Holloway in that sort of way. That's fucking impressive to outwork Max on the feet like that. Right. That's real impressive stuff, man. And I just don't. I mean, again, Islam was able to fucking thunderstrike Charles Oliveira a few times, but I think Volkanovski is going to light Islam the fuck up if he could not get him down.
Yeah, I think he will. I mean, you're probably right. You're probably right on that. I just something about Islam, it's just like, yo, this dude's like next level. But Volkanovski, you're right. It gets you thinking a lot. Like, man, what can't this guy do? Now, KJ goes, Islam's a bit chinny as well, and Volk's gonna have power 155. He got knocked out one time in a fight, and I think he got dropped in another. So you might be right, but I'm not sure about lately. But you might be right, man. I think Islam's gonna win, but we'll see. That's why I don't bet on this shit. That's why I don't bet, because I'm usually wrong.
Here's the thing, man. Like, he may be a little chinny, but with MMA, man, you ain't even really got to be chinny to get your ass knocked out. Like, I've seen a lot of guys that don't got power that end up clipping a dude and putting him on ice skates. Like, it don't really take a lot. What Volkanovski has is accuracy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, in general, I wouldn't assume that he's going to knock. Volkanovski's not like a major knockout artist, and Islam obviously doesn't get knocked out often. But I can envision a world in which he knocks Islam out. Like, shit like this happens all the time. Like, he lands a couple real clean shots. I can even imagine a world in which he drops Islam with shots that we've seen him. It seems like he's taking harder shots. You feel me?
Yeah.
Volkanovski just catches him with a quick 1-2 when they're real close, and boom, down goes Islam. Like, shit like that. I've seen so many fights where it don't look like somebody gets clipped that hard, or they're in real close, and just one of them little dumbass shots fucking puts you on a knee, and then fucking somebody thunderstrike. I could see that happening. I don't think it's likely, but like, I could see Volk dropping fucking Islam in close with some little crazy like strike, man.
Yeah, look, I don't want to get too deep into this right now, but we'll talk about it later on if it does happen, if it's a possibility. But I think so. Everyone's been trying to get Khabib to come back. Come back and do this. I fight this guy, fight that guy. Oh, you're shit. You didn't fight any real. Your resume is whatever. I don't give a shit about all that, any of that stuff. Okay. I think if Volkanovski knocks Islam out, that is our best shot to get Khabib back in there. It's not gonna be one of those like, fucking like, oh, I need to revenge my friend and everything. It's gonna be one of those like, that guy's that fucking good. Islam gonna keep you down. All right, bitch. How about hit me, knock me down, like Rocky says in Rocky 5. Oh, you knock him down, knock me down. You go, knock me down now, bitches. What's up? Like, I honestly think that could happen. So we'll see. I think that's our best shot. I don't think Conor. Yeah, like Conor couldn't get him back. I guarantee Conor's not going to get him to come back. I'm telling you right now, Connor's like, unless Connor goes in there and knocks Islam out, that shit ain't not happening.
That's I was about to say. If big because I disagree. Even if Volkanovski beats Islam, I don't think Khabib's on it. I don't think he. I didn't.
You finally accepted it.
I think so. I think for that.
Okay.
And plus, to be fair, Khabib seems like he really don't care about the money, right?
He's at peace. Seems
so. It's gonna take something personal for Khabib to come back. And it's gonna have to be bad. Volk is respectful. If Volk does beat Islam, if he does knock out Islam, he'll help him up. He'll tell the Australian crowd to cheer this man. He's a real champion, Dagestan warrior, blah, blah, blah. Habib will be like, look, oh ass motherfucker, you ain't no me, are you? know, deep down, he'll be like, yeah, you know what I mean? We did what we could, but you can't teach the young brother everything. You ain't me, what you gonna do? You know what I mean? But, to be fair, let's just be real clear here. I don't see this happening, but the only way fucking Habib comes back in my fucking book is if Conor knocks out Michael Chandler in July or June.
Okay.
He gets fast-tracked to Islam, and I don't even think a knockout does it. But if by some chance Conor hurts Islam, and then he can get on top of him, and he can just beat him. Or just beat him. Just bloody him up, and just pound on him, and just fuck Islam up. And I get it. I doubt it. But if in a world in which he sleeps Michael Chandler like he did Jose, they fast track him in December, he fights Islam, and for whatever reason he Jorge's him, he Askrens him, he just hurts him and then just destroys, opens up a big cut, and he's not going to be nice. He's going to look for Habib. They're going to have to get security to fucking. I think that's the only thing, because I think Habib would be like, it's no about belt. It's no about money. I want hurt him and not go jail. I want hurt him and not go jail. So fuck all that money. All due respect, Mom. Fuck that. This ain't about nothing but respect.
Gotcha.
And I will come back.
Fuck, that'd be sick.
And again, I doubt it. Connor's probably gonna get knocked out by Michael Chandler. It's like, I love Conor. Let's be clear. And if he does get through Michael Chandler, and they do give him Islam's probably gonna hold him down, beat the fuck out of him. So I mean, let's be very clear. But Habib's probably not coming back, and if he does, it's gonna have to be something real personal.
Dude, it'd be crazy if Conor, like you said, Jorge Masvidal's this motherfucker, and just pounding him hammer fist to the head, just staring into the camera with like no expression other than it's like that, and then a couple extra shots after the ref tries to pull him off. Habib will jump his ass over that cage.
Right.
That'd be nuts.
If Islam's clearly out and they gotta stop, Connor's fucking nailing him and looking at Habib and the whole bit. Like,
oh my god,
I realize how unlikely that is. But yeah, I think Habib jumping over, and it's gonna be. But I tell you what, if the good Lord of MMA was to bless us with such an occurrence, you talk about a big selling fight. Good Lord, if that actually played out that way, and then they redid fucking Conor Habib, the rematch for the belt with Conor as champion, I mean, boy, old Vince McMahon would be like, there's some bullshit right here. There's some bullshit right here, boy.
I would try to go to that.
If I was the Vince McMahon of MMA, if you could write a
script, make that happen.
That's the script.
That's the script.
He sleeps Chandler. He destroys fucking Islam. Habib hops the cage. Their fucking camps get into it. We're right back in fucking 2018 or whatever the fuck it was.
Dana would bust his fucking pants immediately. Be like, fuck you.
Fuck, I would too.
Mike Russo over Todd Duffy. Is that a pick? Or did that just happen? Todd Duffy's fighting again. I just don't remember when. It might be.
That's an old fight, right? If I'm not mistaken, didn't
Todd Duffy's fighting?
Mike Russo he beat Todd Duffy in the UFC a fucking month.
Oh yeah, Super
Bowl fight, I think. Todd Duffy was a bad motherfucker one time too, boy. A big dummy too.
He got knocked the fuck out. Mike Russo knocked Todd Duffy the fuck out. No, but Todd Duffy's fighting soon at KSW.
Oh shit.
He's fighting someone at KSW. And I'm not sure if it's like a UFC veteran or not, but I don't think. Well, it might be a UFC veteran, but let me look this up.
boy. Big
Oh
motherfucker.
fuck,
Nothing why they
he's
made
fighting. Todd Duffy's fighting Philip DeFries. DeFries. I
Oh,
forgot to say his name.
and KSW.
Yeah, KSW, February 25th.
Oh,
And he
okay.
did. Yeah, now I know. Now I know why I remember that. Where I remember because DeFries, whatever, did fight in the UFC. He lost to Stipe. He already lost to Todd Duffy once. He lost to Matt Mitrione. Yeah, okay, I remember this motherfucker. All right, that makes sense. Either way, that's happening. All right, David Branch with Texas Hunters was another one of those knockouts where the shot wasn't huge. Okay, he's giving us examples of where the shot wasn't a big thing. Got it. Thanks, Otis.
Yeah, that was actually a real good one.
It really
real
was.
good one. Fuck, David Branch was the ultimate fucking wrestler, well, grappler too at that point.
Dude, we should do a show where like we just talk about fourth wall shit, but we just talk about like old motherfuckers that no one remembers. Like,
yeah, I'd be down for that.
MMA.
Or even like old. Can you do like if we doing this shit? You can can you like post fights like as we're talking, like maybe not shit that would get us fucking deplatformed, but like different highlights, different knockouts or submissions or some shit like that. We could definitely do like some fucking reactions to that sort of shit too.
I don't think we can put up fights on the screen because I did a Cageside Lab a couple weeks ago and I fucked around and I was on Twitter and I had Twitter on the screen and I was talking about fights and I didn't remember that I had the screen share going. So then I was scrolling through and I was like watching the fight on Twitter talking about it and I go, damn, that finish was crazy, whatever. And then I saw that I was on. I'm like, well, fuck it, it's already on. And I started talking about it. The next day, that video got a copyright strike from the UFC. So I'm like, all right,
okay, all right, damn.
Anyway, so yeah, we can't do that, but that'd be cool. So I talk about like Lieben, talk about
we can fucking
TJ Grant, the guy that never fought again.
Yeah, that's
remember him? He got so fucked up, he never fought again, and I still
was like right there on the cusp of a title shot.
Bro, he was next. I think he took a fight. Let me look this up now that we're fucking doing this shit. TJ Grant, but I want to say he's supposed to fight for the title after he knocked out Gray Maynard, Evan Dunham.
I want to say Gray, Evan Dunham, something like that.
I have the internet in front of me. Why can't I fucking look this up? Here it is. Okay, yeah. He was on like a 5-fight win streak. He knocks out Gray Maynard at UFC 160. Is the next guy for a title shot. Who was a head lightweight champion at that point? Whoever it was. And I want to say maybe Benson Henderson. But dude, he got so fucked up. He had like permanent headaches and shit. Remember, like his neck was all messed up. He had headaches and then he retired. And then he was like mad at somebody about it. It was just the whole thing was wild. But dude, I wonder what he's doing these days, bro. Because let's see what he's doing. He's retired. What is he doing? It doesn't even say
he never fought again.
Yeah. He owns and operates Grant's Martial Arts Academy in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia since 2020.
Makes sense.
Damn. He didn't get removed from the rankings until 2014. Shit. Anyway. It was Pettis. So Pettis is the lightweight champion supposed to fight him. And then with Pettis was targeted for December 14, 2013 at UFC on Fox 9. However, Grant revealed in mid-September that he has yet to be medically cleared after suffering a concussion in training. It will not be eligible to compete on December 14th and opted to decline the bout. Pettis eventually withdrew from the bout as well, sustaining an injury of his own. So it was the concussion. So headaches and all that. Yeah, it's fucking nuts, man.
And then he just never got to compete again.
I think TJ would have been a champion. That dude was
probably. Whatever reason,
Otis beat me to it. TJ Grant was a savage. He was a savage.
Anthony Pettis was clearly on the decline. I thought Anthony Pettis was going to be that dude, man. I was so.
I don't know what
happened.
happened.
Anthony Pettis. Yeah, I don't either. Really.
Dude, as soon as and I'm not blaming nobody. Remember, he got a chick. I don't know if he married her or not, but he got a chick that everyone was complaining about. And after that, he was just. And after Benson took his fucking arm and shit, that was not Benson. He took Benson's arm. Who beat him? Who beat the shit out of Anthony Pettis to the belt? Like he beat. It was RDA.
Yeah, I think so.
Whoever did it, he got the shit beat out of him.
But he just went after that.
Then he went
never the same. It seemed like.
Well, then he went to PFL, and I'm sitting here going like, "Oh, $1 million, easy." I think he lost the first or second fight in the tournament for the $1 million. Like,
yeah, dude. Yeah, that's crazy.
He's crazy.
So talented too.
Yeah. So we'll do something like that at some point, hopefully sooner than later. Just talk about. We'll just have to do our research during the week and pick out guys we want to talk about and shit, and I'll come up with photos and stuff since we can't, show fucking. Yeah. Oh, it was RDA. Pettis couldn't wrestle. RDA exposed him for 5 rounds. Yeah, RDA fucked him up. All right. What else? What else we're gonna talk about? Because we're running out of time. Oh, you see, I normally don't pay attention to this shit, but it made me laugh that Tommy Fury no-showed that fucking presser with Jake Paul.
Yeah, you know what? At this point,
that fight's not gonna happen.
Yeah, well, you know who the backup is, right?
Mike motherfucking Perry. Let's go.
Yeah, so why are we even waiting? Who gives a fuck?
Let's not
Tommy
wait.
who? Like, stop playing anyway. Like, real talk. I think Mike Perry's a better fight, even in boxing.
100%.
Motherfuckers really sort of undervalue how good Mike Perry is.
Just the guts alone.
Well,
the balls to fucking be a savage.
He's been in bare knuckle boxing, which I realize is quite different than boxing, but it's not exactly a judo competition.
Yeah.
When he was winning fights in MMA, it was predominantly with his hands. When he was getting fucked up in MMA, it was predominantly with other people's knees and feet and grappling utensils. Like the idea that Tommy Fury would be a better match for Jake Paul, I think is sort of silly. I think just based upon his fight experience alone, Mike Perry's more of a problem for Jake Paul. Mike Perry's nasty. One thing about Mike Perry, he's young, he's in shape, and he's fucking mean and nasty. That's formidable for Jake Paul, and he's got a name. He's got some name value.
Yeah. No, Mike Perry's the one that went was about to shake hands with somebody at the fucking at the fake weigh-ins, and he goes, "You thought you had a friend, boy?" Like that's my favorite. One of my favorite fucking clips of all time. That one I never watched that one and not fucking laugh my ass off because it's the best clip. You thought you had a friend, boy? Like
Mike Perry is good on the mic.
Dude,
he's gold. Did you watch? I know you probably don't because you don't really fuck with the nose at all. But Mike Perry did the Noses show this last week, and shit,
what is that?
Fuck everything. He's hilarious. He was fucking going off, man. He is, he's hysterical. And then he got to talking about the trolls. I love Mike Perry because Mike Perry fucking like gasses himself up. What the fuck? Mike Perry was like talking about taking the fight, and he's like, yeah, and people out there talking shit in their mama's basement. Motherfucker, what are you doing? What do y'all do? Who have y'all ever boxed? I'm getting the bag,
bro.
I'm getting money. Y'all are criticizing the fight. Why wouldn't I get the fucking bag? And then he got to talking this shit a little bit. He's like, you know what I'm saying? I've been fighting animals. Y'all making it seem like I shouldn't be in there with Jake Paul. He shouldn't be in there with me. God damn it, I'm a fucking savage. And I'm like, hey, I started believing it. Like, yo, actually, Jake Paul might have a problem on his hands. Let me tell you something, Jack. Tyron Woodley. Let's just quick run through. And not to diminish Jake Paul, because actually, quite frankly, what he's done has been low-key impressive. But let's just be very clear about this, right?
Okay.
You or basketball player that literally could not fight at all. I mean, he might have been kind of strong, but could not fight at all. So, yeah. Ben Askren. He can box about as good as Jake Shields, allude to earlier podcast material.
Yeah.
Tyron Woodley. Now, this is the first time where going into the fight, I was like, okay, fucking Tyron can actually crack and boom, boom, boom. Fight goes how it does. Jake can actually box a little. Tyron's definitely past his prime. Rematch with Tyron Woodley. He gets slept. Again, Tyron's past his fucking prime. At that point, I'm just being fair. Tyron's at least, 40 years old at the time that he's boxing? Jake fucking Paul?
Probably.
Maybe 41 or some bullshit like that.
Tyron Woodley, right?
Oh, Tyron Woodley, right.
He is 30. He's 40 now.
He's 40 now. Okay. So he was
probably like 37, 36 when that happened.
Okay. Well, my theory might be losing a little bit of credibility here, but he went on to box Anderson Silva. And again, Anderson is one of the greatest strikers of all time. But again, if we're being honest, calling Anderson past his prime at this point is fucking putting it mildly at best. Anderson's fucking spoiled milk in the fridge. I mean, let's just be very fucking clear. He did outbox him, and that is impressive. Anderson Silva would outbox most motherfuckers at this point in the game. But if
Okay.
we're going to be very clear about what Jake's actually done, he outboxed a 50-year-old Anderson Silva, 46, 47, whatever fuck he is, a very, very old Anderson Silva. Mike Perry, at the very least, is a young man. How old is Mike fucking Perry? Before I fucking start assuming shit.
31. I'll make sure right
31,
now.
right?
Let me make
30,
sure real quick.
30.
Oh, here we go.
He is fucking
31.
young. Okay. He's fucking 31. How old is fucking Jake Paul? 28, 27?
I
He
think
can't be
30,
that young,
maybe.
right?
He might be 30 by now.
So
Let's see.
you know, he's got a cat.
26. Oh, wow, my bad. 26.
Okay. But still, we're at least getting fucking closer in the fucking A. Will Mike Perry, other than the NBA player, be the youngest dude that Jake has fought? I mean, I don't think anybody's really mentioning that. But that, you know, I need to come up with a theory. I'd just be too blowed, but we need to really age fucking count. I don't give a fuck what Randy Couture did. I don't give a fuck what Bernard Hopkins did. That's why they call those dudes aliens. They are the exception to the goddamn rule that is you will get old and not be that fucking good anymore. Like when you're fucking 43 on your way out the door, and all due fucking respect, Ryan Bader, I'm looking at you. When you fucking beat Fedor and he's 137 years old, man, you got to put an asterisk by that win.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, but we just cannot put the last Bader win against Fedor in the same category with Fabricio triangling Fedor. I'm sorry. I just fucking, they're not the same fucking thing. The age at which you compete really, really matters. Jake Paul did beat Anderson Silva in a boxing match, but Anderson Silva was very old. I'm not trying to be a hater here, but like, do we all think that if, let's say we can make them the same age?
Okay.
In an alternate universe, when Jake Paul and Anderson Silva boxed, let's zap Anderson Silva to 27 years old. Y'all fucking think that fight looks the same? Come on now. 27-year-old Anderson Silva, under the same exact rules, however you want, beats the fucking dog shit out of fucking Jake Paul.
Yeah.
So age fucking matters is my goddamn point. And the fact that Mike Perry's 31 and he's got about 6, 7, 8, 9 years on the rest of the guys that Jake Paul's boxed, I think matters a lot more than people are getting credence to.
Sure.
A lot of these guys can box. A lot of these people have skill. But when you're young, man, you're vital. You're an animal. What the fuck? Like, no matter how tough or strong you are, when you get older, man, you're frail. You're not as fast. Your chin's a little diminished. Yeah, your power sticks around a little bit, but what the fuck? It's not the same, man. A 27-year-old Anderson would kill a 50-year-old Anderson.
I'll tell you this right now. I think the reason why Mike Perry is going to be a better fight against Jake Paul is not because of the skill. It's not because of the youth. None of that shit. This motherfucker does not give a fuck about your accolades, about who you knocked out, that you're undefeated, you're this, you're that, you're bigger, you're stronger, you're fat. I know he's not giving a shit. He's not going to sit back like Woodley did and wait for his shot. He's not going to box like Anderson Silva did, right? He's not going to fucking, go in there with a grin on his face like I'm about to get knocked out for $1 million like fucking Ben Askren did. He's going to try and kill this motherfucker. He's not going in there with just yapping, right? And the worst, that if Mike Perry gets in there, it might be the worst thing that happened to anybody hoping to fight Jake Paul. Nate Diaz, Vitor, all these guys. Because if Mike Perry gets in there and first of all beats Jake Paul, that game's over, baby. Ain't no one gonna give a shit. Like, yeah, we knew it. And this is the guy that beat you. And it's not because of his age, because he's not in the UFC. So that's what they're gonna say. They're gonna be like, "Whoa, he's not even UFC. He's not even that good. He knocked out Jake Paul. What good is Jake Paul?" It's because none of those motherfuckers know that Mike Perry's a fucking savage. You know what I'm saying? So that'll be the thing. I hope that happens. Okay. I hope Mike Perry gets the fight. That's where I'm going with. I hope Mike Perry gets the fight because I can't stand Tommy Fury and his flaky bullshit and his excuse. That shit's so old. And I'll tell you right now, I didn't pay much attention to it. But every time Tommy Fury does something stupid or no-shows something or pulls it, it's always some bullshit-ass excuse. And you're just like, why are we even booking this motherfucker? Why waste the time?
And I'm telling you, dude, from Perry's fucking appearance on the MMA Hour this week.
Yeah.
They should have just booked him anyways. It would have been so much fun. Mike Perry's a live wire,
Dude.
man. He was shot right the fuck out of a cannon, and he's and Mike's actually kind of smart. He's kind of intelligent, man. So he had like a good mixture of sort of honest opinions on Jake Paul and what he's done, and then sort of hyperbole about, but I'm still a savage and I'll kill them all.
That's
like
he's
great. Fucking wild, man. He was fun, dude. Like it would have the build up would have been fantastic with them too. Like they should have just booked that shit. That would have been great.
For real. That fight's in February 26th. So you got 2 weeks.
It's soon.
It's dumb. All right. Let's check of the headlines here before we head out of here. Let's see what we got. They're about to do face-offs for 284 right now. So
quickly. We gotta go soon. Yeah. Twitter was fucking tripping. We've been trying to get on our P's and Q's again. The fourth wall pretty much doesn't exist on the show anymore. We trying to maybe put together some fucking guests to come on here and fucking spice it up a little bit, but we don't necessarily want to reach out to the same old fucking dicks and UFC fighters. Everybody wants to get fucking cute and shit. So I seen Twitter was acting fucking stupid, but I seen Game Bred Boxing.
Yeah.
Jorge Masvidal is hosting a boxing event. And
that's
boy,
in Milwaukee.
Is good shit. Now listen to this. This is for my fuck. We should have led with this. Now we got to go. I don't got this. Is fucking Jesus Christ. So April 1st, 2023 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I guess this is Game Bred Boxing number 4. I didn't really hear about the first 3, but listen to this. Listen to this. This is who he has boxing. The main event is Anthony Pettis and Roy Jones Jr.
Bro.
Anthony Pettis and Roy Jones Jr. in a boxing match. So I seen that and I'm like, okay, I'll click the link. Jacare and Vitor Belfort.
What the fuck?
In a 6-round boxing match. Pearl Gonzalez and Gina Mazzani,
both I think they both fought in the UFC.
In a 6-round boxing match. And here's a fucking good one. Jeremy Lil Heathen Stevens and Jose fucking Aldo in a boxing match.
Look further down. Paul Daly's fighting on the shit.
And Paul Daly against whoever Anthony Taylor is in a fucking boxing match. This is fucking insane. So I had hit you up on DM and I didn't know you just got your old account back. So I didn't know maybe you were actually
going back and forth.
I'm like, Lil Heathen. I'm like, yo, let's try to get Jeremy Stevens on the show or fucking anybody on this card to talk about this fucking card. Obviously, we're not going to get fucking Roy or Anthony or Vitor or Ronaldo. Ain't really speaking our language, literally. But Jeremy fucking Stevens, Paul Daly, possible. Pearl's fine ass.
B Nguyen's on there. Okay. Motherfucker. B Nguyen's fighting. She's 125 or 115. I forgot who she fights though.
So that is sort of disgusting and sort of extremely morbidly interesting as well.
It's more interesting to me than a Jake Paul fight. B Nguyen she's under 5 feet tall, if I remember correctly.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, she used to fight for one. Oh, okay, yeah, she's not. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna start talking about B Nguyen. She's not a world beater.
Listen,
anyway, all right.
Titus Coochie's on the planet. I ain't lying. Titus Coochie, little small Asian broads. Titus Coochie's on the planet. You always want to ask some of these fucking famous fighters, the motherfucker like a Vitor Belfort type character. I always wonder, like, what town or what city's got the nastiest bitches? Like, one of these guys listen. A bunch of these motherfuckers would know.
No, for sure. But there's always somebody that would know.
Oh, yeah, there's a couple whoremongers, right? Yeah,
100%.
Luke Rockhold.
Luke Rockhold fucking knows.
Luke Rockhold knows what's going on. Luke Rockhold knows what's going on. Who's a couple nasty other degenerates? Well, we know Vitor's a nasty motherfucker. We see him sucking them toes and shit. You see that video of Vitor sucking them toes. We know
he playing like, oh, don't forget you. No, that was Romero. He's talking about Jesus, this and that. Motherfucker, we know you.
Yeah. Yoel's definitely disgusting, Jack.
Yeah. Yoel's a fucking
hey, listen.
Jorge Masvidal 100%.
John Jones. John
Jones
Jones
can't.
goes up with the white girls, boy. John Jones knows where the
John
white hoes are at for sure, boy. He
John
tell you what the
Jones, dude. John Jones would probably just walk around with a bag of coke and shit, and just be like, "Hey, who wants in?" Probably like 8 bitches in his
Oh,
fucking
to
hotel
be
room.
fair, John Jones is probably extremely fucking fun when he's not on the
Dude,
clock. I mean, fuck, it's coke for everybody. We're all getting drunk. We're going to the strip
who?
club. Everybody's fucking white girls. I mean,
All right,
what the fuck?
before we go, for whatever reasons you want to, you want, for whatever reasons, who's one fighter you want to hang out with for like a week?
You know, maybe John.
I'm saying.
Probably John. I mean, listen, he's probably the baddest dude that's ever lived.
Yeah.
That ever, I mean, listen, security don't get better than John Jones. Boy,
Mhm.
let me tell you something. If John Jones was my best friend and we was hanging out and kicking it, y'all, everybody better don't say nothing to me. I'm talking shit to everybody.
Everybody's getting it.
Tell your uncle, tell your daddy, tell all your brothers, tell everybody you've ever met. I said, suck my dick. My homeboy John got something to say about it. I talked to John. Tell him something about something. And John ain't no square. John might be party. John will smoke. He'll drink. John will get some toot. We get some bitches. We'll fucking drive drunk. Like, ain't nothing gonna scare John off. Shit, even the Diaz brothers, they're cool. They're smoking. Man, you get some motherfucking coke and some strippers and shit. Diaz is probably like, ooh, relax. We're cool on that.
Yeah.
John's like, shit, we just getting the night going home, boy. Who trying to blow 10? Man, hey, man, listen, real talk. We don't appreciate John Jones enough. They said that motherfucker went back to his room to get 10 grand to go back to the strip club. And when his old lady gave him guff for it, he threw her a smack.
Bro,
boy, that's some Ike Turner player pimp shit if I've ever heard it. I don't know why John's not embraced by the black community.
How
John
crazy is
should be
that
a
shit,
goddamn fucking idol. He's a fucking goddamn animal. What the fuck? Like, he was about to go blow 10 racks at the strip club on the humble.
But how crazy
With
is
his
that?
wife
Though?
in the fucking hotel.
That's not the first time he did it though. Like, it's not. I mean, I don't know about hitting her, but I mean, like going back to his room, be like 10 bands to go pay strippers. His wife's probably like, all right, whatever.
Oh, that's what I mean. Like, dude, real talk. Honestly, you never get it out of John. Nobody ever will.
Oh no.
But can you imagine? Can you imagine the stories that John Jones probably has?
Oh, he's got to have some crazy fucking stories.
The whores and the blow and the weed and the training and the money. Can you imagine if John actually told his story? And I guess maybe one of these days we'll get the real story. But boy, the real story about what John was actually doing in those camps is probably fucking mind-boggling.
Do you remember? And honestly, the biggest reason why I fought so fucking hard to get my account back wasn't because I really cared. First of all, I got the account back with like 4,000 or 3,000 followers less for whatever reason, and I do not care. It's like 3,000 something. I don't give a shit. But the reason I really wanted it back is to get my DMs back from when I used to talk to English off the air. Rest in peace, Andrew Reed. But dude, his stories that he would tell me on DM, and then after the show we sit down here, dude. There was more than 10 times where him and I would sit after the, because he never slept, but after the show and everyone else got off, and I had to go to work the next day or whatever I had to do on the next day, and we'd be on here for like 3 hours just talking shit stories of back in the fucking day when he was young on the fucking gear and beating the shit out of motherfuckers as a fucking doorman and shit or whatever security guy. I'm like, that's the kind of stories I feel like a guy like John Jones would have.
Hey, son, I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna wrap it up quickly. But speaking on English, and I can tell this story because he told this story on a podcast we did, called "The Brilliant Idiots," a while back. Him and the homie Aaron did this podcast.
I remember that shit.
You know what? I might be wrong. He might have told this story off air. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure he told it on air. But it was such an insane story that for a brief moment I thought he was bullshitting, but English wasn't on his telltales.
He was so serious.
He was talking about fucking partying and drinking and all his wild younger days. And listen, I'm gonna skip a bunch of shit, but let's just say the story ends with English fisting two broads from behind like this. He said he was just fucking those fucking hoes, doggy style, was fisting them both in they twats. They had them bent over the thing like that, just giving them the fucking work, all roided up, fucking tooted up and drunk and shit. Boy, English was a goddamn animal, son.
Savage. Fucking savage. The
Animal.
anniversary is coming up here in a few days too. I think when was it? February 3rd.
Have you
February
heard from Max?
something. Huh?
Have you heard from Max, his son?
I haven't heard from him now. Ooh, I might have to reach out to that dude.
Yeah, we got to reach out to him.
Yeah, that's a fucking good point.
Yeah, we got to reach out for dude. We got to reach out.
Let's see if he's still on here. I had to get a new fucking Facebook, so I don't even know if I added him back or not. But he was doing physical training, not like not like rehabbing, but like he's a physical trainer. Last I saw,
right.
Yeah, he's doing good. Though. For anyone's wondering, Max is doing. Last I saw, he was doing good, and his sister's doing good, and all that. So we'll definitely have to get him on here and to shoot some shit about Muay Thai. I remember that dude fought. He fought Muay Thai, so that's just crazy.
Well, he lived in Thailand for
a little bit,
or some shit like that. Yeah, for a while.
Yeah. So, man, I fucking miss English, dude. But that's the reason I fucking fought so hard to get my account back. I have DMs on there that are like wild as shit from that dude, man. Like he did tell me that physically. So he told me a handful of like I would like. And unfortunately, those were the ones that we were doing like after, so I don't have any record of them or any recording or anything. But I remember I used to sit here and he'd be telling me shit back when we were doing Google Hangouts, and I would look at him with just this face of like, and he goes, "Oh, you don't believe me?" And I'm like, "Motherfucker, that shit's so crazy. I believe every word of it. What the fuck?"
Right.
Some of the shit he said, I was like, I remember he told me like, there's a reason I can't go into the States. They won't give me a visa. I'm like, I fucking bet, dude. Like, and then at the end of every show that not every, but most of the fucking episodes that he was on, he'd be talking about asking somebody. I'm not gonna say it on here because you never know when the fucking put you on a list. But I swear to God, he's gonna put us on. I tell him, Andy, you're gonna get us on a fucking list, bro. You're gonna get us on a fucking list. Stop that shit. He would not give a fuck. He's like, hey, what are they gonna do? Come get me? I don't give a shit. I'm like, all right.
He was English too, so like, fuck.
Rest in peace, English, man. I miss that motherfucker. I think we're like 3 days away from like the anniversary. I don't even know how many years, man. Feels like it just happened still.
I know. It's been a while too.
It still sucks to think about for real. I remember coming in, like I was here already. I was living here. And I was sitting on the couch, and that's when Max hit us up with that fucking message. And I was just like, I think I might have just sat on the ground for a little bit. And I was just like, I just talked to that motherfucker like a couple days ago.
I know.
Like last thing he said to me was on DM, and it was like, he said something like, I enjoyed our chats this year, chap. And I said, and I replied with, yeah, man, I can't wait for another year of this stuff, dude. It's going to be great. Because he had just turned 50-something. And I don't know how old it was, but his birthday had just passed, and it was wild shit though. So rest in peace, Andrew Reid. We miss you, motherfucker, for real. On that note, okay, real fast one. When Fight of Islam and Volkanovski starts? Asked Muhammad Shafiq. All right, why not? Let's do that. Let's talk about what time it starts. So translate this to your area, my friend. But main event starts at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard. That's 10 p.m. Eastern time. So translate that way. That's the start of the main card. The actual fight itself, probably like 2 hours later. So, so check that out on there. All right. Excuse me. We've gone over probably about 20 minutes, so it's all good.
We're 15 over.
There you go. All right, motherfuckers. Appreciate the hell out of all you guys. Shout out to everyone tuned in. You're welcome, Muhammad. Have a good one, dude. Shout out to Muhammad. Shout out to Otis, Santiago. Who else was in here? KJ, appreciate you coming in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, dog. Come back and hang out, man. Nick Devon, God, as always, appreciate you. And of course, Otis, the third keyboard warrior. Appreciate the hell out of you guys. Catch you guys on the next one. Make sure you guys follow everybody on everything at Cageside Press, at Keyboard MMA, at Gentle Jesus, at Elo 32 or 31 at this point. I'm using both, so I figure out what the fuck's going on. And CagesidePress.com for all your coverage tomorrow night. Not for the prelims, but for the main card. I will be on here on Cageside Press YouTube. So hit follow or subscribe and a like and everything. But I will be doing a fight companion like I do for all the pay-per-views now, and shooting the shit with you guys for a few hours. So make sure you guys hit that up. All right, for myself, for Mr. Fred Kirby, we appreciate the hell out of you guys. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Good night, Santiago. Appreciate you. Good night, and good night, Wisha.